Now to what many of us are thinking about here at home. What if a mass shooting happens here?
Chase Houle spoke with a man who trains people in active shooter situations. And Chase, this is really, it's just changed the way we live, right? We were talking about that early this morning. What are some takeaways you learned from this guy today?
Yeah, you know what you just said too, Felicia, is, everyone around the nation, including here in Indianapolis, is having this conversation, whether it's with themselves or with the loved ones at home. And, we've seen it time and time again, whether someone's at a grocery store like we saw in Buffalo, New York, or they're in Las Vegas at a festival. It can happen virtually anywhere. The trainer I spoke to, who specializes in mass shooting survival, told me, he's seen increases of people coming to his classes, whether it's a youth group or Boys and Girl Scout groups. And, even families saying, hey, we just want to be safe, no matter if they're going to that park or to the grocery store or to the mall. We saw it here in Greenwood. It's just it's a real thing for so many people.
Absolutely. So what's something that a person should do if, God forbid, they find themselves in one of these horrific situations? I think it's interesting because all of us, we didn't grow up with active shooter drills, but that's normal now.
And I just had that conversation today, I never had to. It wasn't a thought to happen, but now we're just seeing it constantly. And, they said, if you can, the simple answer is, people will say, duh, well, it's leave. If you can leave, leave. But at times we can't. And something I found really interesting was he told me, don't hide. We've heard time and time
that before.
Yeah, we've heard run, hide, fight. He said, don't hide, because you're essentially putting yourself in a corner and becoming susceptible to becoming a victim or a target, because you have nowhere to go after that. So he said, basically, find a fire hydrant, or find a pen, find an electrical cord, something that you can fight with. But something I think we need to have a bigger conversation around is, how do you prepare for something like this, if it, God forbid, like you said, happens? And that's coming up at 5 tonight is, whether you're at a bowling alley, as we saw last night, or, again, you're at a concert, we hear what you can do to prepare yourself and your loved ones if that, God forbid, that situation happens to you.
I think the key is to not live in fear, of course, but to be prepared.
Absolutely. Best way to fight fear is to be prepared.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay. Chase Houle reporting tonight. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to more in our later shows.